Question for Andrew. Andrew, it looks like you were really comfortable in the flow of the offense, whether it was kind of attacking or you had a few really nice passes to cutting guys out there. You just feel like you were really kind of in a zone operating out there?
Yeah, within the flow of the offense, I think the team is starting to gel. I think the team is starting to finally understand, the continuity of everything and that motion. And, with that freelance, we're able to make plays and be creative. And that's what I was able to do, exploit that today.
Do you just think it's more of a comfort level now that you're kind of 5 games in and you've all played together and you're starting to figure out the rotations?
It's going to take some more time. As soon as our defense ramps up a little bit more, our offense is going to thrive even more. I got to take a little bit more pride of not getting scored on and the entire team, and, offense is going to come.
You had 3 of the 7 fast break points, lost in the half court. How difficult or how easy was it to maybe just stay patient and work in the half court this game?
I just got to try not to leak out. Got to make sure we secure the ball before I take off. It's different than last year. We got a whole new team, so it's going to take a collective effort to get the ball before we actually get out on that break. And, we got a lot of unselfish guys, so they were looking ahead for me. And, today just happened to be my night.
Andrew, Courtney crossed the 1,000-point mark tonight, big barrier. How do you think he's handled all of this and just all the ups and downs of his since he's been here?
I want to say welcome to the club, little bro. It's about time you got here. And I think he's adjusting well. From a system that we were used to, it takes a lot for old guys to, buy into a new system. And I think his maturity has really grown and is starting to show, and he's buying in to something different that he's not used to. So I think he's going to thrive, as the season goes on and as we get into conference.
Do you feel more comfortable, him, Jace, Brock, do y'all just feel more comfortable as time is going on?
Yeah, kind of the reason why I decided I needed to come off the bench because of I didn't want to force anything and I needed time to let the game play out. And, so I can understand the flow of the game. And as that happened, I'm able to see the game a little better from coach's eyes instead of from a go get my own bucket one-on-one perspective. So I think it's going to, play out in the end, and I think we're going to be really hard to guard.
Are you more comfortable on offense or defense at this point?
It's just a work in progress. It starts on defense. The emphasis of getting that ball, getting out in transition, trying to get steals, trying not to let my man score, and offense is second nature. So right now I need to just focus on, not giving up as many points so my grade out is good and I don't get yelled at.
When did you tell him you wanted to come off the bench?
A few games ago, me and Coach had a heart-to-heart conversation about, how I was playing, and he, as an offensive player, been playing against Coach for years. He's not worried about my offense, but I was more worried about, my contribution to the team and how I can be able to impact this game not only on offense end but defense as well. So it gives me a chance to get a new perspective and get more comfortable.
2 last ones for Andrew.
You were making steals all along. Was it the offensive part that you weren't as comfortable with?
Yeah, just understanding my role, understanding when to attack, when not to attack, understanding how to manipulate the offense within that motion, because it's been a while since I played in this brand as like a play. And, I feel like as the time goes on, as more guys start to draw a lot of attention, it's going to be hard to guard us all.
Last one.
All good.
I was like, say happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and I really hope for all the students to come out to our game at Gregory. It's going to be our first time playing a true game there in a while, and we really need y'all support. Happy Thanksgiving.
Question for Coach? Kind of similar question. That game was mostly played in the half court. It seemed like, how would you assess how y'all did on offense in the half court?
Yeah, it was our best defensive game of the year, and there's no doubt about it. Anybody that knows about basketball sees that. So this is a team that was 5-0, averaging 80 points a game, shooting 50 from the field, 40 from 3. One of the best offensive teams in college basketball this early season, and our defense was really dialed in. We hold them to 44 points, 40% shooting, I think 12% three-point shooting. Their point guard's a special player. I think he'll be a pro. He's averaging 10 assists a game. We held him to 1. We made him turn the ball over 7 times. He's a special young player, but we were dialed in. I want to recognize Marcus Carr's defense, right? Marcus did a lot for himself tonight, I would think, with NBA scouts. Everybody knows he can score. He's been doing that since he was a kid. But tonight, there's no doubt about it. He was out with a defensive focus. Our defense started with him. guarding their best player, and Marcus did a great job. I haven't seen a defensive effort like that in a long time, and I'd put Ramey and Jones and others in that category. But there's no doubt about it. Marcus was trying to do one thing tonight, and that was to try to win the game with defense.
Do you have that same feeling about the way they handled the leading scorer and have to make a basket?
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, that guy scored 28 last year on USC in this same game, and he's averaging 16 points a game and 17 maybe. He's a really good offensive player. That's a good team. Like, you know, you might walk out of here tonight, but then, I mean, in a couple months when you look up, oh, I remember that Cal Baptist team. They're winning their conference. This will end up being a quality win for us, I predict. And I wish those guys a lot of luck. Safe travels back to the West Coast, and hope they'll have a great Thanksgiving. And I don't know Coach well, but I met him today for the first time. We share a mutual friend, George Tuttle, who's a University of Texas graduate. George worked for Coach Penders here. George is really the reason I'm in college coaching more than anybody. George had a courageous battle with cancer, and we lost him a couple years ago, but it was nice seeing the Cal Baptist staff. We shared some George Tuttle stories, but that's a good team, and we played really well defensively tonight.
Chris, you got a lot of production from Courtney and Andrew and Brock, guys that had obviously been in this program for a long time. I know maybe they get overlooked with the transfers, but just how important have those four guys been for you all this year?
Yeah, I don't think they get overlooked, and I don't really consider them anything other than they're new players too. We had to recruit those guys back, and I would have recruited them anywhere they would have been. Jones could have been playing at third division in Brazil, and I'd have been there. And Jace could have been playing at a community college in Alaska, and I'd have been there. So those guys, we're proud to coach them. There's no asterisks next to this roster. Those guys and Brock and Ramey, just proud to be those guys' coach.
Is there a rotation that's starting to form? I know towards the end of that game, or towards when that game was still competitive, basically kind of like there's a 7-man rotation that seems to be forming. Is that the case, and Dylan's going to have to find his way in there at a certain point?
Well, it's still early. I understand and don't run from questions, but it's still early. I would tell you in my mind we got six or 7 starters, and then we got guys trying to get into the rotation, and opportunities come in different ways, in different forms. And sometimes you get an opportunity through foul trouble, or this game they're playing small or big, and other times you just grind it out and you wait your time. And I confidently tell you that everybody in our active roster, 12 players right now, Dylan will be 13, and everybody's in play here. Everybody's in play. No doubt about it. But we're not settled on a rotation yet, and I don't consider that a bad thing. It's the competition every day in practice. These guys are worthy of a look, and we'll keep giving them a look.
Last one for Coach. What does it say about Andrew, though? A guy who recognizes that his early start wasn't maybe the best. Take a step back and try something different.
I didn't view it like that, Brian. I thought his early start was fine. He's taking great shots. Ball doesn't go in, no problem. Steph Curry has a night every once in a while where the ball doesn't go in. So I think he's playing the best defense of his career. Look at his steals numbers. He's one of the leaders in the country in steals. He's rebounding the ball per his position. And so I didn't view it anything other than he came and talked to me one day. And we'll see how this story goes. This will be the next one, the story. But it's too early. We haven't decided anything. The lineup is in formation, so we'll see. But in terms of Drew, one of the best players that's ever played at Texas, one of the best players that's ever played in the Big 12, coming to me and saying, "Hey, Coach, I don't care if I start or not. What do you think?" Obviously, that was an unselfish act, and obviously that's a headline story. But we'll see how it materializes. I can tell you this: every team I've ever coached, we've had one of our best players as our 6th man, and you guys can do the work on that. And so, whether that ends up being Drew or not, I think it's too early to tell. But of course, I love the kid and his heart, and he's all about the right things. Drew's about winning. Period. Just like Marcus was about winning tonight. It's these guys they're trying, man, and there's going to be some bumps along the way. It's not going to be some kind of rainbows and pots of gold and free corn dogs every night. But I think the guys' hearts are in the right place. There's no doubt about it.
Do you, I don't know if you would think.
You guys ever have free corn dogs? Yeah, Sonic used to have those 25-cent corn dogs at Halloween. When I was at Seminole, they put a limit on it. It was like 10. And so I went to one. Locklear went to one. Lockman went to one. What's his name? Deke went to one. We had 4 staff members, and we had 40 corn dogs. No, great question though. I know how good Gonzaga is, and I know how good we can be. But maybe it might have changed some other people's. We beat Gonzaga in a 20-minute game in the second half. Coach Few pointed that out to me. I was looking for something positive, and he helped me. But no, we had a game plan that night. We didn't execute it, but it's a great learning curve. But you guys were there. We cut it to 10 a couple times in halftime. We were in the game. UCLA's really good. Gonzaga's kind of on a different level right now, I think, but things can change quickly, in this deal. But no, I think we have a chance to be a good team this year. We got to stay the course. There's going to be times where we look like we can play with everybody. There's going to be times where, like, you scratch your head and say, hey, do those guys practice? This is the first year. I've done this before. It's not my first rodeo. We just got to, try to turn this thing into a team as the season goes on.
Going back to the lineup real quick, do you have a set date in your mind? Maybe it's the conference opener, I don't know, where you say, I want to feel really good about this starting five, this sixth man, 7, 8, 9, however, at a certain point?
No, because those aren't my decisions. That's not my decision to say this date or that. It's the players. They're the ones that practice every day. They're the ones that work on their craft. They're the ones that get game time and they produce. And, eventually it'll get down to a deal where, guys are earning their time. You can change your role pretty quickly around here. We value practice. We value production. We don't care what the scoreboard says. If you're wearing the uniform and you're in there, we're looking at what you do that possession. So there'll be a lot of guys that can, kind of improve their situation quickly, and there'll be some guys that got to fight for their situation. We don't let anybody get comfortable around here either.
Thanks all. Appreciate it.
One more. Scotty Max getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Just real quick, what Abe Lemon's class has done, these 3 games, get out of it what you wanted to going into it?
Yeah, first of all, the whole Unite the Family. It's just awesome seeing the former players. Jan was here the other day, Coach's daughter. So many letters and emails. I think so. Getting Coach Lemons' name back out there and all those players. I can't tell you guys how happy the players were, seeing those guys, grown men kind of crying. Thanks for remembering Coach. This is what happens a lot of times in job changes. People kind of get left out. I've always thought that you got to unite everybody. In terms of the basketball, played some quality opponents. Home games are important as we build our confidence. I just want to thank everybody that supported the Abe Lemons Classic. It was awesome. We look forward to doing it again. It might be the Scotty Mack Classic next year or the Rob Lazar Classic, but we're going to keep popping it around. It's something, as long as we coach here, we want to honor people in the past. So I appreciate you mentioning that. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.